forward to this afternoon. By the way, it's just coming up to 2 minutes past 3 Central European time in Poland on Thursday afternoon 2012. Looking down the start list here, and we're looking at the K2 1000 for men. Remember, the first team wins, goes through. We'll get into more details in a minute, but we have, going from the top of your screen, lane 1, Poland coming down, Czech Republic, Slovenia, Lithuania, Spain, Serbia, Portugal, Norway and Italy. And for those out there who haven't really that much experience of the sport, the fastest they've had quarterfinals, they've had semi-finals, and now it's the final. And normally the finalists, the fastest finalists from the three rounds are in lanes 4, 5 and 6, and they're off.
That is a strong start. Look at that. Very, very, very high stroke rate.
They're going to be taking about, 3 minutes 45 of solid effort. And this is a real testing event because the lactic rate of your body comes in again. So it's the first 500 meters, perhaps your tanks are fairly full. Next 250, you're running on empty. And the last 250 meters, it's sheer willpower.
We're generally looking down the center of the course. That's where the fastest paddlers come in, but sometimes you can get surprises from the outside. But it's shaping up to be the center paddlers, although it looks like we're getting some real effort from the yellow boat, which is lane 4, Lithuania.
Who are your favorites in this race? Who do you have a chance to have a look at?
We really like the Spaniards. I think the Spaniards have a tremendous background. They have gotten a silver in K2 in 500 meters in Poznan, and they have excellent results. We think that they could really do something here.
Only good news, in fact, the last 15 minutes or so, we were looking a little bit nervously at the weather because there was a big black cloud coming over and it wasn't looking good at all. The waves were coming up. A few of the coaches were saying, should we run it? But since then, it seems to have calmed down a bit, and with the athletes, as we saw, first few frantic paddles are really frantic, but once you get into your pace, it's the practice rhythm that they've been practicing for the last 5 or 6 years, and today is the big day. If they get it right today, it's a chance to go to London and a chance for glory for their country. We're now past the halfway mark, still fairly close at the front. And if you're wondering what the cyclists are doing, they're not spectators getting it through right. These are the coaches on their bikes trying to keep up with their athletes, keep up with their charges, and obviously look to give them an encouraging shout if they need it. But to be fair, there's not much they can do. It's a bit too late now. Gina, these conditions, not perfect, but it's better to have a wind behind you than a wind across you, isn't it?
It's definitely better to have a wind behind. The crosswind is very, very dangerous for paddlers. It can really take your paddle and flip you over.
So in case it is your first time, these are kayaks, of course, as opposed to canoes. These chaps are actually sitting in their canoe, and as you can see, they're keeping exactly the same thing, and they're playing with 2 blades on each paddle. Unfortunately, in canoeing, it can be rather difficult to see who's ahead because often the television angles aren't very well aligned. But here we're getting some lovely pictures, and as they come into the last 100 meters,
looks like the Czechs have really pulled ahead.
Yes, but it looks like in lane 7, the Portuguese, this is Pimenta and Silva. They could be booking their place. I would go and say they're the guys finishing the fastest.
That is a big move.
Oh, well, the Portuguese, they put their hand up in the air to claim it, but we're not 100% sure here. Have to wait for the official organisers to give us the red light. It's very dangerous to predict this. Nervous looking athletes out there. They've actually given it their all, which is, to be honest, which is all you can actually do. So they're all winners today.
Everybody's watching that final board because only the top team will get that place.
So far, we're just hearing it from the officials. A decision needs to be taken. It's going to be a photo finish between number 2, Daniel Havel, and Jan Serber, and Fernando Pimenta and Emmanuel Silva. The winner is number 7. Portuguese team, Fernando Pimenta, Emmanuel Silva, good luck for them. Disappoint clearly for the second one, the Czech Republic, and well done to everyone else. These guys have possibly changed their life with, what, a tenth of a second, but that's sport, that's the beauty about it. And as I say, sit back with us for the next hour, say, for 9 more nail-biting races. It doesn't get much closer than that, does it?
No, especially for a 1,000-meter race. That was pretty impressive.
So if you're sitting there, you've just joined us. I'm Matthew Layton.
And I'm Gina Sanchez.
And we'll be adding hopefully a little bit of extra spice to explain how these machines, they're made of carbon fibre, they weigh less than most things. In fact, they weigh from a minimum of, what, 12 kilograms. The boats we've just seen, 5.2. That's the singles, of course. These boats, fairly narrow, fairly long, and very, very light.
There are the Portuguese celebrating on the dock as they go to weigh their boats for the final check to make sure that they have indeed the proper weight.
The rules are fairly simple here. You need to have the minimum weight, and if you don't, unfortunately it's fairly ruthless in this game. You're out of business. But that really doesn't happen very often, because most of the team, what they do is they have a deal with one of the 2 manufacturers who they buy their boats off, that they supply the state-of-the-art boat when they're over here. So it just means that your travelling expenses when you're coming a long way in certain cases, it doesn't really make that much difference. You don't have to put your canoes on the back of a wagon.
Or check them as luggage.
I flew in, well, we've been here a few days now, but I was very impressed with the airport. I was very impressed with the whole city. In fact, it's going to be one of the host venues for the Euro 2012 football tournaments. If you're from Croatia or Italy or Ireland, you're going to be having a lot of fun. I'd certainly say, if you haven't booked your tickets yet, get down your travel agent. There's a lot to see. It's a thriving city. All many